Okay, it's 1 p.m. Singapore time, Manila time. We're actually on a lunch break, so let's get going. And evidently, this call will be recorded. Welcome to our guests online from far and abroad. Good day, good eve, good morning, wherever you may be. Thank you for joining us today for the Python RPA webinar. I'll introduce myself as your host for the next 30 minutes. I'm Mike Conroy, Talk BPO co-founder, director, trading partner with Python RPA, APAC. We will have a fireside chat and discussions and presentation with Muka Duzanov, is the co-founder and director. Welcome, Muka.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me today.
Very welcome, sir. And Eugene Chamamov, head of the channel partners, Southeast Asia. Welcome, Eugene.
Thanks, Mike. Hello, everyone.
And finally, Berik Tuzbek, COO. Welcome as well, Berik.
Hi, Mike.
Excellent. In summary, today we'll be discussing the advantages of Python RPA, why use Python RPA, and how Python RPA addresses customer success stories. Please note, depending on time, an anonymous poll may be provided during and after the webinar, and a Q&A session is open for approximately 10 minutes, which is actually open now, so feel free to jump in to the Q&A, and we'll have some time to answer some questions. So let's get into it, shall we? We've only got 30 minutes, folks. So Mukam, let's start with you, please. Great to see you and be here, read this compelling and ever-changing, diversified topic for RPA. So first question, why do organizations use RPA today, Muka? Why do they use it?
Well, I think there are like three major reasons for that. So basically, as you might, as I think everyone knows, like while organizations evolve, they still have like applications that we're using for 20 years or maybe 30 years. In some industries, it happened to be that there's certain applications that being used for more than 40 years. And this is the reason number one, this legacy system applications where the companies have these legacy systems and they don't want to spend money, or maybe they have lost their competencies around the systems, or the technology stack was like not up to date and they cannot like have these modern API integrations. So this is the reason number one where the RPA solves this API integration issue. Another reason is like use of third-party systems, especially a vendor lock software, where you it's not always flexible enough like to automate the system or integrate with that systems. And the reason number three, as far as we know, as far as we see, it's like having a kind of a lightweight automation tool, because most of the traditional automation tools, they are like complex enough, and in order to automate your certain business process, you might need to have like a backend developer, a front-end developer, an architect, and so on and so on. So an RPA is like a kind of lightweight tool that enables you to automate a business process where you don't need to have a deep expertise in certain technology stack. You just need to like have one junior developer or one developer who knows how to work with certain platform or with certain programming language and certain libraries. Yeah?
Okay, excellent. So basically, in a nutshell, in summary for the audience, for those who are not familiar with RPA, it primarily optimizes and streamline workflow processes, and primarily just takes away the staff from the keyboard, puts them onto more strategic tasks as well, and frees them up so that way the processes become more efficient and more effective on an automatic basis. Would that be a fair comment to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Okay, great. So we see you want to talk about low code and no code to make RPA user friendly. Can you elaborate a little, please, on this, if you don't mind? Thanks, Muka.
Yeah, I think it needs to be mentioned that like currently every single customer around the globe, I mean, every single organization that use RPA, they either follow a low-code approach, basically they use a low-code platforms, or they use an open source solutions, which are like, I think 99% it's about the Python programming language. And each of these approaches has like advantages and disadvantages. And whenever it comes to low code, you can like, I think every single customer that uses the vendor solution, they know that the software licenses are quite expensive. Although the low code, it's easy to use in terms of the development effort, especially when you don't have like experienced or seasoned developers. You have these junior developers or business analysts who can learn how to develop bots using a low code, so-called C developers. It's scalable because like there are comprehensive management tools and yeah, but the bad thing about the low code, the community is not as huge. Like it's only about 100 to 200K people, developers around. And when you compare low code to Python open source, like Python, it's free programming language, and libraries in Python are like perfectly fit to that RPA. But the Python requires you to have like seasoned developers so that they know libraries and they know how to work with these libraries. But the problem with Python is that Python doesn't have this, management tools that enables the governance of the bots within your organization, enables the scaling, the security, and so on. And the last cool thing about the Python is that the community of developers, it's 10 million people around the globe. And of course, the availability of the developers affects on the total cost of ownership of the technology at the end of the day, right?
Okay. Excellent. So we also hear that, RPA can be expensive today to implement, especially in emerging economies. Is this the case, or can we see, relatively quick turnarounds, Muka, with Python RPA today?
Well, I think the developing economies, emerging countries, right? They use, one of the reasons why they start to use heavily the Python and open source solutions is that the salary rate of, let's say, accountants or HR people or treasury people, it's not as high as in, let's say, America or Western Europe. And therefore, the prices that are being charged by the vendors from US, they are not fit to the salary rate that the companies have. And therefore, it's not economically feasible most of the time to automate a certain type of the business processes for customers or organizations in developing countries. And therefore, these organizations, if they use a vendor solution, they need to like carefully choose the business process. They need to see this return on investment and so on and so on. So it happened to be that many business processes or tasks that could be automated, and there is a need for automation, they could not be automated just because the license cost is high.
Understood. Okay. I see you've still got a few more slides there to push through. If you don't mind, I wouldn't mind going on to, or do you want to comment on that slide as well for now, or you're good?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah, let's move forward.
No worries. What we wanted to also look at was some typical use cases, Muka. Could you share some success stories with the audience today, please, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure. But before we go to that, I just wanted to highlight, Mike, that we in Python RPA, we tried to solve this issue, like this. I mean, like the disadvantages of low code and disadvantages of the Python. So we tried to solve this issue, and therefore we combined these two technologies all together in one single platform. And it's unique approach that other platforms doesn't support. And we support both a Python code-based scripts orchestration And we also have a low-code tools that enables this citizen development approach. And at the same time, we have the platform consists of the orchestrate and agent that enables the execution of our RPA projects. And by using the Python, you can actually have all the open source access to open source libraries for machine learning and AI.
Okay. So are you saying with Python RPA, you don't really need to be a guru programmer as such? Is it primarily drag and drop and user friendly? Would that be a fair comment?
Yeah, it has drag and drop and user friendly interface, a GUI for low-code workflow creation.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
But you can
Excellent.
have Python. You can have Python, and if you want to orchestrate your Python scripts, then use the orchestrator and agent.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, brilliant. Did you want to push on to the next slide?
Sure, sure. So what I wanted to highlight is that since we like started our business in a developing market, so we believe that automation should be like affordable, and therefore we see that there are huge value from our platform to many potential customers around the globe, because we're trying to fit the price to maintain the price uh, in like affordable when compared to our competitors. And the platform provides you all the necessary things like to jumpstart the automation in a quick manner. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
No worries. No worries at all. Okay, yeah, that previous question that we touched on, Muka, was some typical use cases. Just for the benefit of the audience, just to give them some comfort knowing that, you know, how are you doing out there in the marketplace today, and any good stories that you could tell about some of your use cases, what came from that?
Okay, okay. So yeah, the in general, if we talk in general, yeah, the RP is being used for like tasks that requires you some report generation or report validation. There are many use cases around the intersystem integration or intersystem reconciliations. You can use many customers to use RP for data the monitoring of the external websites or searching information on I don't know, web portals. And the bots are being used for double data entry, data reconciliation, and of course the one of the most like often use case that we have, it's a legacy system automation.
That's an
And when
interesting point. Sorry to jump in, Muka. That's an interesting point on the legacy system. Just again, for the benefit of the audience, does that mean that RPA could work on old software systems? Is that what you're alluding to?
yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
So there are some systems that like, you know, special desktop applications built on on the stack that I don't know, maybe 30 years back.
Wow.
So
Wow.
very old-fashioned one, but the RPA can still interact with this systems.
Excellent. That's great to hear. So just in case, for the benefit of the audience, if you feel you don't have the right software, it's actually irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, if my memory serves me right. You also did a recent value proposition with a construction company, and you won that, and you took it away from a company called UiPath. Would you like to elaborate on that, if you don't mind, Muka, as well? Thanks.
Yeah. So it, like I think 1.5 year ago, we helped one of our customers. This is like it's called BI Group. They're the largest construction company in Central Asia. So we helped them to migrate from UiPath to Python RPA, and it was like a very I don't know successful project for BI Group because they managed to optimize to lower the license cost by 70%, and
Wow.
therefore return on investment was like just in the 3 months, the 100% ROI. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
then there are other many cases where we help customers to either build internal center of excellence, or we help them to scale the RPA within the organization. Like, for instance, our customer from Brazil, company called Silimed. This is like the largest silicone implants producer in Latin America. Uh, they managed like to use our platform for scaling their Python automation. When they came to us, they like had, I think, 40 or 50 business processes being automated by the use of the Python, but they were lack of this management tool, the orchestrator that enables the scaling and security of these bots. So we provided our platform for them, and now they scaling their automation, Python automation within the organization.
Fantastic. And just out of curiosity, again, for the benefit of the audience, was it attended bot or unattended bot, Muka, for that project?
It's unattended bots.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I think we're actually halfway through now, so we've come to a point in the webinar where we have time actually to do a poll. The poll will come through. It'll either pop up on your screen or in the chat box. For a majority of you, it'll probably be in the chat box. So the question is anonymous. It is anonymous, by the way. And that question will be, are some of you currently using RPA machine learning solutions today within your company? And it's simply a yes, no, don't know, or keen to chat further. So let me open up the poll. And that should now go into your inbox on the chat or Q&A. Replies are still coming in. Okay, so we have yes, 0. We have no, 50%. We have don't know, 0. And keen to discuss further, 50%. Okay. Fantastic. All right, so that will close off on the poll. And we will move on. We are conscious of time. It is a lunch break for everybody around the region. So, okay, good stuff, Muka. We see now that you would like to discuss some of the bots in question for the platforms that are being used. And you want to touch on the RPA programming and how easily this can be achieved. So I think these slides will be done between yourself and Berik. But back over to you, Muka. Feel free to talk about these 2 slides. And then when you're comfortable and finished, feel free to introduce Berik. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So as I said at the beginning, so we combine this Python code-based approach and low-code studio. So basically, like developers can create a Python script in any framework. Let's say it's PyCharm. And then by adding like one single line of code, our library agent in it, they can actually connect this Python project to our agent and to our orchestrator. It's just a matter, like, I think, of 30 seconds to connect to your Python script. In the same time, you can use our low-code studio that has more than 250 predefined no-code activities. And you can drag and drop these activities in order to create your automation workflow or automate your workflow, right? So, and the second part, like the the second part, the third part of our component, it's a orchestrator. The orchestrator like enables the bot management. You can monitor your bots in real time. You can schedule them in a automatic fashion. You can have bot queues. You can have the security and all these things that are necessary for enterprise type of automations. And I'm going to shift the word to Berik. Berik is our CTO and Chief Operating Officer. So he will be going through the platform in a like do some brief overview of how the platform looks like. Yeah, Berik, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I hope you can see my screen well and hear me well.
Yes, we can.
So,
Thank you, Berik.
yeah. So our platform consists of three parts. There is the orchestrator, what you see on the screen, which is actually a robot control room. From here, you can monitor your bots, see their status, if they are running online, offline, if there is anything wrong. You can actually directly manipulate them from here. Like, let me, for example, launch this project, and it will just start on my machine in this case automatically. In the same way, I can run any bot on any remote machine too that is connected to my orchestrator. Second thing, what I can do, except the direct management, I can control those projects by schedule. I can set up a schedule that is very flexible. I can set up on what minute, what hour, what day of the week the robot should run. And there is also possibility to connect our robots by API triggers to some third-party system. And in that case, the third-party system can trigger and launch or stop our bots. And the third-party system can actually send some input data to a robot. Like you can integrate BPM system with a RPA bot, and when you push a button on your BPM system, the RPA bot will trigger and run. Moreover, we actually have a function to connect some Telegram bots to our orchestrator, which will let you to get in real time notification about what's happening with your bot, like if it failed, if it's successful launch, etc., etc. So this orchestrator can work actually with two types of projects. One is just pure Python projects, and second are projects developed in our no-code development studio, which you can see on the screen right now. In this no-code studio, we have more than 250 different actions. On the left side, you can see there is a lot of them, and they cover everything that you will need in your RPA journey. But in case if still you have some specific task and you can't see fitting for you the action that fits you, there is always the action called run Python script, which lets you launch any Python code right from the no-code automation. And it lets you import any Python library and launch them seamlessly. And this no-code approach is very easy to use. So I can just drag and drop from the left panel, for example, some action, let's say some desktop click, and I can just click browse on it and get some application, and it will highlight elements of the applications you can see. So, and if I press on them, yeah, it will retrieve some data by which the robot will understand on which element it should interact with. So it's just click browse, click on element, and it's done. Same goes with the web applications. So it's pretty easy to use. Mike, I think you
Yes,
should. Yeah.
lovely, lovely. Thank you very much, Berik. It seems pretty easy on the drag and drop, and don't worry, everybody. This call is being recorded, so we will send it out to you. But interestingly enough, yes, there seems to be a lot of drag and drop. But interestingly enough, how do we get there? How do we get there, Muka, with regards to online training? We understand you actually have an online academy. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have developed an online academy that contains 26 video tutorials. So this online academy is dedicated for people that want to learn how to use our low-code studio and how to use the orchestrator. So basically, by passing by watching these video tutorials and passing the test, you can get a certificate upon completion of your course, an RPA developer certificate. And these tutorials are available on trainCentral.com and YouTube. So if you are a developer that wants to learn how to use the RPA on Python RPA, you're welcome to use it. It's totally free.
Wow, that's great to hear. Great to hear. Okay, excellent. So we realize RPA is a very competitive market, folks. It'd be fair to say, Jans, that there are some latest successful accolades that Python RPA has achieved to date. I see there's a mention in the Everest Group Pete Matrix assessment. Muka, could you briefly explain your success there for that? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I love this point about the peak matrix. This year we just became a part of this Everest Group ranking for RPA. So as you can see, we're currently an aspirant in the ranking, but hopefully we're gonna get like in the next year or next 1 or 2 years, we're gonna become like to move somewhere here among our and be among our major competitors like SAP, Pega, and so on. So yeah, it's a great achievement of us. We're really happy with getting into the ranking. And I think that happened because we started to scale and getting more traction around the globe, getting more customers from outside of the Central Asian region. And yeah, that's what I wanted to highlight, Mike.
No, brilliant. Well done. Congratulations on the recent accolade, and well done. And it's great to see there that you are an aspirant on the Peak Matrix. And perhaps maybe this time next year, halfway up the grid, or maybe potentially as a leader. Let's see for sure. Okay. So we would like to move on now to the typical AI. No webinar nowadays on this topic can't go amiss with the infamous, famous 2 letters AI, of course. So what's the plans in the future, Muka? Can you share some highlights, roadmap? What are the customers going to see? This should be an interesting slide to discuss.
Yeah, Mike, we don't think that it's AI, it's a hype. So we have a part of our team that are currently developing a prototype. A certain part of our platform will be enabled to use Gen AI for understanding the business process that customer have. And the customer could actually, so we assume, or we believe that in the next 6-12 months, we're gonna come up with a working solution that will be like that will work in a way that the business user can actually explain the task that he wants to automate using the screenshots, using the video recording of the business process, or textual description. So and the platform will understand that, and it will automatically create a bot with I think like that will cover like 70 to 80% of the developer efforts for automating the process.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, the platform will be able to like smoothly and maintain the existing bots in a like smooth and seamless way. So it's a concept called self-healing bots. Yeah. So we believe that in 6 to 12 months, we're going to come up with a working solution where like the bots will be created by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 70% to certain extent, right? And at the same time, the bots will be like able to maintain themselves. Like whenever there is a change in the screen,
Mm-hmm.
or the button moved from one place to another, so that the platform will understand, the bot will understand that it's actually the same button, but it just moved, and there is a change in, let's say, selectors or maybe XPaths and so on. It will automatically substitute the selectors or XPaths, so that the bot will not interrupt while executing the business process. Yeah, and there would be no need to, or at least less involvement of the developer in maintaining this bot.
Awesome, awesome. Oh, that's great to hear, because you just took the words out of my mouth, Mukta. So basically, less programming, less eyeballs on the screen, less keystrokes. Primarily, a lot of the processes will be found, and they'll be automated by Python RPA. This is great news. Really looking forward to that. Okay, I'm very conscious of time, folks. We're actually on the 31st minute. So I think we'll bring the slides to a close. But what I'll basically do now is go to the Q&A session. If there's any questions in the Q&A, if not, feel free to unmic yourself and ask any questions. But in the interim, what I will do is I'll bring up a question that we had on a meeting last week. And one of those questions for the team at Python RPA is, how does Python RPA fare on pricing in comparison to the competitors? Would someone from the team like to have a go at that one, please?
Great question, Mike. So I think like if we compare our prices and the licensing approach to let's say UiPath, Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, so I think we are somewhere like at least 3-4 times more affordable when compared to them. And moreover, we do support and we do provide a custom offerings for our customers for unlimited bot subscriptions. So it's and it doesn't cost you millions of dollars. So we want to support our customers, and therefore, in order to enable the scaling of the RPA within their organization, we provide this unlimited bot subscription. It's normally like less than 100K per year.
Wow, wow. So basically what you're saying, Mukta, is that the return on investment, in particular in emerging economies and in Southeast Asia, will be a lot more faster, because as you can appreciate, some of the COOs, CFOs, they highlight the fact that labor arbitrage could be, an alternative to automation, but primarily what sometimes the decision makers fail to recognize is that there's 3 shifts in a day, and the robot can work 24/7, and therefore you can have a lot more further volume of work to be completed, because the bot never sleeps, never takes a break, and doesn't complain and doesn't go on vacation. On that note, as you can see, folks, we are running over slightly 5 minutes. But if there are any questions that do come to mind, perhaps after the webinar, feel free to email us here at the contact details on the screen, as you can see. But other than that, we'd like to thank everybody for participating and joining today.